What do people generally consider taboo but it shouldn't be? If I'm applying to a job, I want you, the recruiter, to tell me in black and white how much you're willing to pay me. None of this "so, what is your expected salary?" If I'm asked that in an interview, I always respond with "what do you think I'm worth?" Taking some time to form your opinions. With the number of issues and information sources, it's no bad thing to want to be as informed as you can before deciding how you feel, rather than just going with your gut from minute one. Talking about money in relationships. Miscarriages. Everyone wants to know about your family planning, but no one wants to talk about how many people suffer through the physical, mental, and emotional turmoil of a miscarriage. Despite the impact, you are expected to act and show up to work as if nothing happened. My personal one. It's completely okay to admit you don't know jack diddly about something. Intrusive thoughts. It was actually nice knowing other people had them. And that having them doesn't make you an awful person. Death. Treating it like a hush-hush topic is so horrible for your mind. Talking openly about any kind of abuse. Acting like it doesn't happen only gives it an outlet to continue. Mental health problems. It's getting there but is still taboo in many environments. Menopause. It's a real trip. Abusive mothers. Edit. Holy shit, this blew up. Let's get a couple things out of the way here. First and foremost, to the people that know what I mean, I am truly sorry. Second, I realize I could have elaborated a bit more, as there's some people wondering what I was referring to. I literally just mean mothers that are supposed to be raising us but ultimately end up abusing us instead. I thought it was taboo because the idea of abusive women is taboo in a lot of places, so that would naturally extend to mothers as well. It's sad, but it's also very true. Reproductive health and basic human anatomy. Couples sleeping in separate beds. Many couples sacrifice good sleep because they are expected to sleep together. Asking colleagues how much they make. You should know, so you can be treated fairly. Internet piracy for old games. Do they really expect me to spend $400 on an authentic cartridge of Pokemon Black? Periods. It should be the easiest thing in the world to talk about. I think a lot of people would consider it taboo to talk about mental illness. Sure, it's important to be open and honest about our struggles, but it's still hard for a lot of us to do. It's just something some people are really uncomfortable discussing. Not calling body parts by their actual name, i.e. calling a penis a bird or calling a vagina a kitty. My sister taught all her kids to call their genitals their bad spot. They're medical terms, not bad words. Stop teaching your kids to be ashamed of their body parts. Edit. My sister's kids are grown now, aside from the youngest, she'll be 15 in a few months. They all know about proper body part names and what to do if someone were to touch them without consent. Why should I have to live in a hospital bed for possibly years while in pain, but if my family dog starts suffering and unable to eat, drink, walk, etc., they get to be put out of their suffering? Hemorrhoids. Since most people spend a lot of time sitting, hemorrhoids are quite common. You should be able to discuss them openly, just as you would talk about tendinitis. Discussing your salary, especially with coworkers. Calling genitals by their anatomical scientific names. Penis and vagina are not the same as the slang vulgar terms dick and pussy, yet people equally freak the fuck out at their mention. Sex ed in smaller cities and towns, especially in developing nations. Even though they are working towards eradicating this problem, but still it has quite a hold over the population. Miscarriages. This whole don't tell anyone you're pregnant before 12-14 weeks or whatever it is. We lost a bubs, and it was great having support and love from friends. Mental health, as everyone says, a lot of effort to remove the stigma, but still feels very much alive and well. My close friends know about my PTSD, but I hold that fucker tight at work for fear it will be used against me, judged, looked over for promotion. Family's member sickness or addiction. It's a sad thing to tell someone, but not a topic that you should avoid. Mental health. People pretend to care about it and claim they're open to discussion, but they aren't. If you open up to them, they treat you differently or even lose respect for you. People are so blatantly fake nowadays, I hate it. Sex toys for men. Owning a vibrator as a girl is perfectly acceptable, but even to this day, male sex toys are shrouded in an aura of taboo by society. Men who use them are judged negatively. Giving your grandparents a happy drug send-off when death is inevitable. I lost my grandma yesterday. It would have been easier on her if she didn't have to wait out, in pain, bedridden, unable to speak, after she stopped drinking water and had started her death rattle. She should have been allowed to go see my grandfather in heaven a few days sooner. At least here in the US, B-days. My God, how great they are. But apparently if I use one, I'm a French whore. Edit, I woke up and saw all the upvotes. I never thought I would get so many for talking about poop-related hygiene. Thanks Reddit. Seeing an older guy, especially if he's bald or not your typical handsome, with a young girl. My own mom doubted me when I was playing with my niece. Being nude, especially in your own home. I'm not less of a man if I don't know jack shit about cars. If I break down, bro, I'm not even gonna pop the hood and act like I'd know what the fuck I'm looking at. I'm paying you so I don't have to now get your tow truck here and take my ignorant ass to the shop. Addiction and alcoholism. Dandelions in your yard. Nudity in a non-sexual context. Miscarriages. In Australia it is a pretty hush-hush conversation. I have lots of Filipino staff. They are very open about it with everyone, like everyone. I was shocked and mega impressed how it helped them grieve and move on when they were ready. Everyone came together like a big family. Quite impressive. Men's mental health. Some people should not be able to have children and yet they do, and it's a taboo to tell them that they're shitty parents. I'm not talking about the hardcore cases where children are taken away by the state because of abuse. I'm talking about the regular Karen who is a shitty person and raising her kids to be shitty assholes too, or the cases where the abuse is not enough to take the kids away but sure enough to harm them. Absolutely anything and everything that causes joy without causing harm. Death by suicide. Sexual education for kids, teens. This covers not only sex-related stuff but also general growth and puberty information. Puberty is a massive change for kids, so knowing what they are going to encounter before they encounter it will lead to far better outcomes than just having them guess what is going on. Kids are also going to experiment with sex regardless of what we as parents say, so supplying them with the information that they need to do it safely will lead to far fewer teen pregnancies and sexual assaults. Teaching about consent is part of sex ed. Gaming as a hobby as an adult. It's getting better, but I cannot count the amount of times I got dumb looks or questions or was even judged for being a gamer in my 30s. I have a good job, wife, kid on the way, but shooting people online after work seems still crazy to some people. Especially older ones. I really don't get that. Some people watch others doing sports instead of doing it themselves. But gaming is the weird hobby. Like what? Death with dignity, end-of-life suicide. Eloping, or otherwise removing your parents from your life. Not having children. Apparently all women who don't want children are broken and just need to find the right man to change your mind. I'm sorry, but my SO isn't broken, she's saying. Children are expensive and time-consuming. Why are women allowed to ruin their lives with children, but not allowed to live life child-free? Assisted suicide. Not giving an employer 2 weeks' notice when they wouldn't do the same.